The world watches with bated breath. The United States and China, the world's two superpowers, are locked in a tense rivalry. This competition spans economics, technology, and military might. Whispers of a potential total war hang in the air, a chilling prospect that evokes images of global conflict. But what exactly is total war? It's not just about armies clashing on battlefields. Total war means a nation's full resources, its people, its industry, even its ideas, are mobilized for conflict. Civilians become soldiers on the home front, factories churn out weapons instead of goods, and the line between soldier and civilian blurs. The very idea of total war is terrifying. It represents a complete breakdown of peace, with potentially catastrophic consequences for everyone. The world has seen the horrors of total war before, and the scars remain etched in our collective memory. The question is, are we on the brink of repeating history? To understand the gravity of the current situation, we must look back at history. History is not just a series of dates and events, it is a repository of human experiences, triumphs, and tragedies. By examining the past, we can glean insights into the present and perhaps even foresee the future. World War II stands as a stark reminder of total war's devastating potential. It was a conflict that engulfed the globe, drawing in nations from every continent and leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. The sheer scale of the war was unprecedented, with battles raging across Europe, Asia, Africa, and the Pacific. Nations were consumed by conflict, entire cities were reduced to rubble, and millions perished. The human cost was staggering, with countless lives lost and families torn apart. The war also led to one of the largest refugee crises in history, as millions were displaced from their homes, seeking safety and shelter wherever they could find it. The war's legacy extends beyond physical destruction. It left deep psychological scars on those who lived through it, shaping the collective memory of entire generations. The aftermath of the war saw nations grappling with the task of rebuilding not just their cities, but their societies and economies as well. It forced humanity to confront the darkest aspects of its nature and highlighted the urgent need for international cooperation. The horrors of the war led to a renewed commitment to peace and justice, as evidenced by the establishment of institutions aimed at preventing future conflicts and holding those responsible for war crimes accountable. The creation of the United Nations, for example, was a direct response to the war's devastation. The UN was envisioned as a platform for dialogue and diplomacy, where nations could come together to resolve their differences peacefully. Its mission was to promote international cooperation and ensure that the horrors of the past would never be repeated. It aimed to prevent future conflicts and foster dialogue on a global scale. Through its various agencies and programs, the UN has worked tirelessly to address issues such as poverty, human rights, and environmental sustainability, all in the hope of creating a more just and peaceful world. However, the lessons of history seem to be fading. As the memories of those who lived through the war begin to fade, there is a danger that the hard-won lessons of the past may be forgotten. It is crucial that we continue to remember and reflect on these lessons, lest we repeat the mistakes of history. The rivalry between the US and China evokes unsettling parallels to the tensions that gripped Europe in the early 20th century. The geopolitical landscape is once again marked by competing interests and a struggle for dominance, with both nations vying for influence on the global stage. Nationalism is on the rise, military buildups are accelerating, and mistrust between nations runs deep. The rhetoric of nationalism and the pursuit of military superiority are reminiscent of the prelude to past conflicts, raising concerns about the potential for a new era of global instability. While a direct military confrontation between the US and China remains unlikely, the possibility cannot be ignored. The stakes are high, and the consequences of such a conflict would be catastrophic. It is imperative that diplomatic efforts are intensified to de-escalate tensions and find peaceful solutions to disputes. Both nations are actively preparing for a potential conflict, investing heavily in their militaries and developing new technologies with alarming destructive capabilities. The advancements in military technology, from cyber warfare to artificial intelligence, have introduced new dimensions to modern warfare, making the prospect of conflict even more daunting. The world stands at a crossroads, and the choices we make today will shape the future for generations to come. The US and China are engaged in a dangerous game of military chess. Both countries are investing heavily in modernizing their armed forces and developing new technologies designed to give them an edge in a potential conflict. The US, with its long history of military prowess, boasts a technologically advanced military with global reach. Its military budget dwarfs that of any other nation, allowing it to maintain a powerful presence around the world. The US Navy in particular plays a crucial role in projecting American power, particularly in the strategically important Indo-Pacific region. China, for its part, has been rapidly modernizing its military, investing heavily in advanced weaponry and technology. Its military is now the largest in the world in terms of personnel, and it continues to develop advanced capabilities, including hypersonic missiles and aircraft carriers, designed to challenge US dominance. This military buildup is a dangerous game. As both sides strive for military superiority, the risk of miscalculation and escalation increases. Even a minor incident could spiral out of control, with potentially catastrophic consequences. Don't forget to subscribe and like for more updates on this critical issue. Section 4. Economic muscle. Fueling the engines of war. Military might is only one piece of the puzzle. The strength of a nation's armed forces is undeniably important, but it is not the sole determinant of its ability to wage war effectively. Economic power plays a crucial role in any nation's ability to wage war. A robust economy provides the necessary resources, funding, and technological advancements that are essential for sustaining prolonged military engagements. Both the US and China understand this, and they are locked in a fierce competition for economic dominance. This rivalry extends beyond mere financial metrics. It encompasses technological innovation, industrial capacity, and global influence. The US has long been the world's largest economy, fueled by innovation, a strong entrepreneurial spirit, and the US dollar's status as the global reserve currency. This economic foundation has allowed the US to maintain a significant military presence around the world. However, China's economic rise over the past few decades has been nothing short of remarkable. Through strategic planning, massive infrastructure projects, and a focus on manufacturing and exports, China has transformed itself into an economic powerhouse. It is now the world's second-largest economy and is projected to surpass the US in the coming decades. This rapid growth has enabled China to invest heavily in its military, technology, and global influence. This economic rivalry has significant implications for a potential conflict. The competition between these two superpowers is not just about who has the most advanced weapons, but also about who can sustain their military efforts through economic strength. Both countries are taking steps to weaponize their economies, using trade, investment, and technology as tools of coercion. This includes leveraging economic dependencies and vulnerabilities to gain strategic advantages. The ongoing trade war between the US and China is a prime example of this, with both sides imposing tariffs and other barriers in an attempt to gain an economic advantage. These measures have far-reaching consequences, affecting global supply chains and international relations. Moreover, both countries are acutely aware of the importance of securing critical supply chains, particularly for raw materials and technologies essential for military production. Control over these resources can determine the outcome of a prolonged conflict. The competition for control of these resources is intensifying, creating new points of friction and potential conflict. As both nations continue to vie for economic and military supremacy, the stakes are higher than ever, and the global implications of their rivalry are profound. Section 5. The Cyber Battlefield, a New Age of Warfare. As we move further into the 21st century, the landscape of conflict is evolving at an unprecedented pace. The nature of warfare is changing. Traditional battlefields are being supplemented and in some cases replaced by digital arenas. While tanks, planes, and ships remain important, their roles are being redefined in the context of modern warfare. The battlefields of the future will be increasingly defined by ones and zeros as digital warfare becomes more prevalent. Cyberspace has emerged as a new domain of conflict, where battles are fought not with bullets and bombs, but with bits and bytes. Both the US and China are investing heavily in their cyber capabilities, recognizing the strategic importance of dominating this new battlefield. Cyber warfare is a complex and constantly evolving threat. It requires continuous adaptation and innovation to stay ahead of adversaries. It encompasses a wide range of activities from espionage and data theft to sabotage and disruption of services. These activities can target anything from stealing sensitive information to disrupting critical infrastructure such as power grids or water plants. A successful cyber attack could cripple a nation's economy, sow chaos and confusion, and create widespread panic. It could even undermine a nation's ability to defend itself, rendering traditional military forces ineffective. Both the US and China possess sophisticated cyber capabilities, and their cyber arsenals are continually expanding. Both nations have been accused of engaging in cyber espionage and attacks against each other, leading to a digital arms race. The US has accused China of stealing intellectual property and sensitive government data, causing significant economic and security concerns. Meanwhile, China has accused the US of carrying out cyber attacks against its critical infrastructure, highlighting the mutual distrust and tension. The danger of cyber warfare lies in its asymmetry. Unlike traditional warfare, it doesn't require large armies or expensive equipment. A relatively small group of hackers equipped with the right skills and tools can launch devastating attacks. These hackers, potentially backed by a hostile state, can inflict significant damage on a much larger and more powerful adversary. The impact of such attacks can be far-reaching, affecting not just military targets but also civilian infrastructure and private enterprises. This makes cyber warfare a particularly tempting tool for nations seeking to undermine their rivals without resorting to traditional military force. The digital battleground is vast and ever-changing, and the stakes have never been higher. As nations continue to develop their cyber capabilities, the importance of international cooperation and robust cybersecurity measures cannot be overstated. The future of warfare is here, and it is digital. Don't forget to subscribe and like for more insights on global conflicts and cybersecurity. Stay informed, stay secure.